Creativity 8, Charm 8, Fun 10, and Money 87. Those 6 weeks were maybe the most epic and absurd weeks of our lives. After the Monster Prom, we kept on living our lives, falling in love, battling for friendship, and learning about who we were and who we could be. And you know what? Like it always does, life happened, and it was wonderful. Damien became an interior designer specializing in torture machines. Last month, Vogue magazine called his products the refined marriage between the macabre and chic. Scott became a world-renowned athlete, and he ended his career to come back to his hometown and take on the job of the athlete he admired the most. Now he's back at high school again, working as the coach. Polly's drug cooking skills proved useful, and she became a chemist for the pharmaceutical industry. But in her free time, she still cooks the real shit. Her greatest inventions so far are watermelon-flavored ecstasy and a thing called Ellis Dope. For those 6 weeks, the Monster Prom seemed larger than life, and then it was gone, just like that. The battle for Monster Prom might have ended then, but there were plenty of battles left in the war called youth. But once again, we were young and unafraid, and we were ready to start. That was Monster Prom. Thank you guys for joining me in this really fun game. There are so many more endings, so many more events, so many more secrets to find in this game. And it's DLC, which I do have. And the ending song is pretty dope too. So yes, this has been Monster Prom. We did it! Yay! We went to prom with Damien, who turned out to be the boy. There are voice actors in this game, some of which are kind of famous. You might recognize some of them, so that's pretty cool too. They didn't do a lot of lines, but they were awesome. This is the first of a series of 3. Monster Prom has 2 sequels, Monster Prom 2 and Monster Prom 3. And they also thank one of my favorite games, the Yaug, which I don't think I've ever shown on my channel, but is one of my all-time favorite games and literally inspired Monster Prom to become a thing. So, time to fight Act 4. Let's go. Flag casually having 119 HP. Dang. Dang. Monster Prom 3 is Monster Road Trip, by the way. So, I do have the DLC second term. So, Monster Prom second term is the DLC. How about we go... and it does have mods, obviously. Not that I have modded this, but here is the gallery. We unlocked a secret ending, which is not in the endings. Here are some Polaroids, which looks like we've unlocked basically none of them. Here is more art, backgrounds, and various different things, and some unlocked. Some things that are still locked, but there's even fan art that you can unlock and find, and monster sonas. So, some fun stuff to go through, should you get the game for yourself. I still have some time on my stream, so let's play a short run. We're gonna play the DLC, second term, this time, and we're gonna do a short game. Spooky High School, the sweetest years of our lives. Back then we were young and unafraid. Sometimes reckless, sometimes brilliant, sometimes just stupid, but always willing to live life to the fullest. We were on a wild journey to discover who we really were. So, we have played as Puppet, aka default name Oz. There is Amira, Red, Brian, green, and Vicky, blue. So, since we've already played default name Oz, aka yellow, I think we will leave this up to the other 3. Red, green, or blue, guys? Who do we do? I played a dude who went by they, them. Previously, we could go all girly this time, or all manly man if we'd like. Got him. Nice. Where are we going? Are we going with fire? Are we going with undead type number 1 or undead type number 2? Which will we do? Now, this DLC brings in more love interests. So, we're going blue? Wolfang says blue. Anybody else want to weigh in here? Looks like blue is the way to go. Zombie girl? We could. All right. Do we go by blue? Do we go by Vicky? Or do we go by a custom name? Where are we going? What are we naming her? Blue, Vicky, or May? Stitches! That's such a cute thing. That's so cute, I'm going with it. That's so cute. I can't spell, but... Stitches! We're gonna go with she, her pronouns.
Sweet!
Sweet! And we had yet to experience its ultimate challenge, the Monster Prom. I remember it clearly. 3 weeks left, and as we fantasized about our dream prom dates, we were all scrambling to catch the attention of our 8 most charismatic classmates. Scott Howell, 21. A werewolf outlie who compensated for his rather small brain with a stupidly large heart. Miranda Vanderbilt, 19. A sweet mermaid princess who was as cute as she was genocidal. Polly Geist, 22, question mark? A party ghost with an insatiable hunger for all the wrong things. Damien LeVay, 21. A fearless demon with a taste for destruction and a love of fire. Wouldn't sound so cute if you fought Stitches in WoW. I did fight Stitches in WoW, Wolfang. Stitches in WoW is a bitch. Our Stitches is gonna be cute AF. Liam de Lioncourt, 400 something. A hipster vampire whose standoffish demeanor hid the fact that he was truly a lovable dork. Zoe, forever? An eldritch cutie who went from endless deity of the dark realms to ultimate fangirl. Calculester Hewlett Packard, version 1.0. A library computer who had become a sentient robot ready to experience life to its fullest. Also, for those of you who don't know, voiced by Jacksepticeye. That's his voice actor. Just FYI, a YouTuber got to do a voice in this game. You are finally live, Bramble. Yes, I know, Twitch has been twitchy all day. And Vera Oberlin, 23. A mean, self-made Gorgon with a merciless sense of business. It was clear, it had to be one of them. But who? We only had 3 weeks to choose our prom date, and even more daunting, we only had 3 weeks to woo them and conquer their heart. But as I already said, we were young and unafraid, and we were ready to start. Dan Avedon did the voice in the first game? For Calculester? No, he did not. But Calculester came out in the DLC, so that's why. Alright, welcome to Monster Prom's stupidest pop quiz ever. All minds are rotten, but they are rotten in so many different ways. Worry no more. We're now using our PhD in bullshit to diagnose what kind of deviant sicko you are. Monster Prom's stupidest pop quiz ever, TM, will throw a bunch of absurd questions at you and turn your answers into your character's stats. This way, each of you will start by having stats that better reflect your true selves. Let's start. An alien race invades Earth, and they tell you the world's fate depends on how you answer the following question. How do you like your coffee? Is our favorite type of coffee vodka? This would not be true for me at all. I like my coffee as bitter and dark as my own soul, which isn't bitter or dark at all. I'm a pretty nice person. This is true of me. Or alien friendly? Question mark? How do we like our coffee, chat? The second one? The second one is close to me, who likes sugar and cream in their coffee. You don't? Would you like your coffee to be alien friendly though? You don't drink coffee. That's fine. That's fair. I know at least one other person in this chat who also does not drink coffee. I believe, yeah, at least one other person in this chat. I also have other people in this chat who love coffee. I like coffee, tea, and hot chocolate, so like whatever's good for me, really. But how do we want Stitches to like her coffee? The second one? All right. Looks like we like our coffee as bitter and dark as our own soul, which is to say, not really. So charming. Apparently, I'm a charming person in real life. You built a 100-foot statue commemorating an event so that in 1,000 years, archaeologists will learn something about the people of our time. What does the statue represent? That mind-blowing twist in your favorite TV show that clearly changed the life of everyone forever, unlike that boring stuff they show on the news? Your least favorite political figure being devoured by rabid rhinoceri, which are also covered in badass tattoos? Or that glorious instant when your friend stopped you from texting embarrassing stuff to your ex while hella drunk? Now, real life me is prone to the first one, but clearly the magazine is leaning towards the second one. Bramble Rose says number 3. Number 3. The glorious instant when your friends stop you from texting embarrassing stuff to your ex while hella drunk. Okay. That's fair. We will make a statue to commemorate that. So fun. You find your zodiac sign to be inaccurate. Design your own personal zodiac sign. The Regal 1%. The Rich Bitch. The Now Canon Lovers. The Happy-Go-Lucky Ecstasy Pill. The Ambiguous Iguana, or the Cute Pup? Trav says the Cute Pup. In real life, my Chinese zodiac is the dog. So this would definitely be a very me thing. I kind of like the Ambiguous Iguana, though. Not gonna lie. You're a dragon? You also burp a lot? I mean, that makes sense, Mr. Scrake. That just makes sense. It looks like Cute Pup wins the vote, though. It looks like Scott is the one that we're headed towards. Your partner just gave you a cool gift for your anniversary, but you totally forgot. Quick, come up with an idea for a great gift. Anything on fire, a weapon? No, a weapon on fire. Well, this is clearly Damien. The head of their fiercest enemy. I think that's Miranda. A pony. Always a pony. No, never mind. That one's a Miranda. The head of their fiercest enemy might be Vera. An art commission by Picasso? I think it's the Eldritch Girl. Anything capable of leading them to an overdose of some sort? I'm pretty sure that's Polly. Or the abstract concept of gratefulness. That might be Liam. Might. It also could be Scott. So far we have a heart with Scott. So What gift do we want? Like, this is absolutely 100% Damien. This is definitely Miranda. Everybody else I'm not entirely certain of. But I'm pretty sure this one's Polly. Overdose? Do we want to be interesting to Polly? The Ghost Girl? Abstract concept of gratefulness is the easiest to come up with on the fly. I think that might be Liam. Vampire Boy. You park yourself on the toilet for 5 minutes and write a poem about gratefulness? I mean, that's fair. Well, I have a vote for Overdose, and I have a vote for Gratefulness. So do we have a tiebreaker in chat who wants to make a decision for me? Which would be very kind of them. There's always, of course, the option to channel points me into making the vote, regardless of how everybody feels. So, or taking the vote for yourself. Crown yourself the ruler of the vote is also relevant. No tiebreakers? None whatsoever? My gosh, you guys. So mean. I'm gonna go with an art commission by Picasso, just to spite all of you. Ooh, that was the Eldritch Girl. I was correct on Liam and Polly.
Let's go.
Let's go. So, our stats are as follows. We have a smartness of 9, a boldness of 3, a creativity of 3, a charm of 7, a fun of 7, and our money is 5. The store is nowhere to be found, so we can only go for stats. The auditorium is creativity, the class is smarts, the library is money, outdoors is fun, the gym is charm, and the bathrooms are bold. Oh, and now Trav is gonna make me decide where we go. Okay, I see how it is, Trav. I see how it is. Fine, I will decide. I'm gonna double down on smarts this time. Yeah. I'm gonna double down on smarts. Let's go. That day you listen to your elders and learn valuable lessons. Sometimes, after all the monster nonsense and the dating gimmicks, you forget that attending class is supposed to be the primary activity at this high school. You gain +2 smarts. Looking around for distraction, you spot Scott proudly flexing while Zoe sits before him frowning into her notebook. You figure she's trying to draw his ripped bod, so you offer some drawing tips. Drawing? What? I'm not drawing anything, I'm writing a fanfic about Scott's muscles.
Aha!
What? You are? I thought I was just over here flexing for no reason like usual. Well, I'm trying to write a fanfic, but so far it's going slower than the first 20 issues of Snail Person Literature Club. You glance at Zoe's notebook. Looks like she's just copied out Online Encyclopedia TM's list of all the muscles. Oh, I can help. You know Coach always says, you can't spell muscles without some of the letters from adversity. You should add a bad guy who fights against all my good muscles.
What?
That's been done already? Ugh, it's like you haven't even read Scott versus Muscle-Hating Herbert. And that's exactly my problem. That nobody reads your fanfics?
Are you for real?
What? No, my problem is that I needed an original spin on this fic, but my mind's more blank than the minds of all those cultists whose thoughts I used to devour. Well, have you thought about adding a bad guy who's fighting against all my good muscles? This conversation is clearly going nowhere without your help. Quick, fix Zoe's fic. Fix Zoe's fic. Zoe is actually the second fan favorite of the series. Once she came out in the DLC, everyone fell in love with her too. She's pretty awesome. Scott's right, the story needs an antagonist, and everyone knows the true natural enemy of mussels is the leaf scale gulper shark. Or many mussel stories have been told, but how many have been told from the perspective of the mussels? So, is Scott right, or mussel perspective? The right answer may not be the answer you think it is. And we may not have the creativity stat to pull this off. No, she's not ready to jump the shark. Choice B. Bramble says B. A or B, 1 or 2. I'll take either. You can do whatever, but like... Is Scott right or muscle perspective? That's the choices we got. Weigh in while you can. Oh, we're screwed. The first one's a smart option, and our smarts are way too high to choose anything else. This is the first, the morning of week 1, and we only have 3 weeks in this fast game. So, do we go for the one that's gonna win, or do we go for the one that we want? Because we're not set up to get Zoe. We don't have the creativity. I have 1 vote for each. Who's gonna tiebreak me? Go for Zoe anyway. It's a relative stat, not thresholds. Win her with a 1 in creativity. Okay, we'll try.
Meh.
Not so creative. 16. There's the glute in your eye, pecs and prejudice, the faults in our sartorius, full frontalis, hamstrung for you, unnamed Peronius, longest Happy Potter crossover. Do I need to go on?
Great.
Yes! These sound great! They are great, Scott. They are the greatest. But they're about as original as making all of your muscles secretly gay for each other.
Whoa.
But my muscles aren't secretly gay for each other. They're openly gay for each other.
Hard pass.
Exactly. It's the 21st century. Muscles can legally marry in most parts of the world. We don't have time for your regressive politics, Stitches. You don't know how you got pegged as an opponent of muscle marriage, but the accusation sticks. You lose -2 charm and -1 fun. Oof, that hurt. Well, whose table do we sit at? 1 is Zoe and Vera. 2 is Liam and Scott. 3 is Polly and Damien. 4 is Calculus and Miranda. And 5 is the store. Of which we have just enough money to buy 1 thing. Are these porn movies? No, they're fan fictions, Trav. They're fan fictions. She's a fanfic writer. Yeah, we're not going to do well, but we'll have fun on the way. We're always gonna have fun. Do we want to try for Zoe's table and hope? We do not have enough money to court Vera for certain. We're probably gonna be... I mean, our stats are where they're at, honestly. We have the smarts for calculus of our boy Jacksepticeye over here. But all of these people require like 2 stats. So we really want to push creative training. Let's go chase Zoe anyway. I mean, you're not wrong. All right, let's get our creativity up in the evening. You approach Vera, who is conspicuously cutting up an enormous stack of credit cards and feeding the pieces to her snakes. Zoe is sitting across the table, staring intently at Vera and frantically scribbling into a notebook. A little privacy, please. This is obviously a business luncheon, which means that it's a write-off. Zoe's longest purple tentacle creeps an inch closer to Vera. Then Zoe scoots her whole chair a little closer. Back up, I bite. Interesting. Are you even listening to me? This is a life or death situation for you, dork. Not what I would have expected. Damn it, Zoe. Besides my obvious beauty, entrancing charm, and tremendous wealth, what are you looking at? Oh, it's not obvious? Zoe flips over her notebook to reveal a massive chart of Vera's snakes and all of their different ships between them. There are so many arrows and symbols and snake eyes that you're worried she might actually be summoning some sort of fanfic demon. At first, I was really into my main ship of front left snake with back center snake. They're just a really natural pairing, you know? But then I started thinking about the rivalry between all three front snakes and how it could be this kind of triangle rivalry hate sex kind of thing. Zoe. And honestly, that's just really got me into questions about the rules of the Snakeverse. Like, can they get married? Can they move positions on the head? Do they have tails that are inside your head? And Zoe! Vera, you have to tell me. How do the snakes poop? I have to know. That is enough. You're hereby banished from this table. Go ship my snakes from a safe distance before I get a restraining order, you little purple disaster. The size of your ego, my dear, is bigger than anything I've ever seen before. You decide to intervene because 1, you care about your friends, 2, you don't want to see them kill each other, and 3, you've been wondering about the whole snake poop thing yourself. Vera, maybe knowing the allegiances, preferences, and sentiments of your snakes could be the ultimate trick for the silkiest, most dangerous hair ever. Zoe, I think I've stumbled on the ultimate Vera shipping chart. Look, Vera's hair and Vera times being left alone. She is asking the important questions there. Like, the seriously important questions. So, do we attempt to convince Vera to talk, or do we attempt to convince Zoe to move tables? If we attempt to convince Vera, Zoe will like us more, I believe. And if we attempt to convince Zoe, Vera will like us more. Chat, what do we do? 1 or 2, A or B? Ask the shipping questions? Ask the shipping questions. I mean, I'm down. I want to know. And how do the snakes poop? Like, I gotta know. Talk to Eggnog instead. Eggnog! Well, as much as I adore talking to you, Eggnog, I gotta make a decision here. That's kind of the name of the game, is make decisions. Alright, we will try to convince Vera to talk.
So effing cool.
Exactly. For example, I can tell you that the snake on your forehead is insecure by its girth and length. That makes it poison less deadly and its relationships less healthy. For maybe the first time ever, you've made a good point. I milk my snakes and sell their poison, so it'd be great to know which one is the most potent and virile. Also, I've always wanted to wear a hat, but my snakes won't sit still and the hat will fall off my head, and that's obviously unacceptable. Zoe gives Vera the full rundown on serpent synergy. With a little coaching from Zoe, back center snake works out its insecurity issues with front left snake, and Vera's hair has never looked more emotionally mature. Alright, we need to chase creativity. So let's go! Creativity is the auditorium. Good thing that the bathroom, the stores in the bathrooms. That day, while rehearsing for the class play, it's as though the muses themselves have descended to give you figurative oral sex. Your performance is intense and inspiring. It will be remembered for generations, which is pretty rad by high school play standards. You gain +2 creativity. Zoe is catching you up on the latest development on Pirate. Stitches in her spooky high seas fanfiction when suddenly a portal opens up. Never fear, the interdimensional prince is here. I have come to claim my bride. Or husband, or non-binary life partner using the terminology of their choosing. The interdimensional prince? I love when he pops up. He always adds so much wacky drama. Wait a moment. Weren't you previously eldritch horror and subsequently trapped in a totem deity Zigord? Yeah, that was me. You devoured my grandfather, molecule by molecule, turning every atom of his existence into a million scarab beetles before crushing them and snorting their powdered corpses. I'm sorry. That's totally not me anymore. No, it was magnificent! And now you're here in the body of a high school girl, but of legal age to consent, which is exactly my type. Come, my beautiful devourer of worlds, be my horrific bride. Oh no. Zoe is such a spooky high fan, she might agree to marry the prince just for fanfic purposes. Better stop this right now. She sounds so cool. Be careful, Zoe. He's married between 17 times before and eaten every one of her spouse's mind. Be careful. Zoe has married 17 times before and eaten every one of her spouse's minds. Or, why get married when you can bounce on this trampoline? Do we try to convince the intergalactic prince to be careful of Zoe? Or do we try to just make trampolines a thing? Choice A sounds like it would encourage him. Eggnog wants choice A. A or B, 1 or 2. Be careful of Zoe or trampoline. This is how we do. Trav says trampoline. I have a choice for be careful of Zoe and I have a choice for trampoline. Who wants to be my tiebreaker? Or do I have to make decisions here? Trampoline. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Okay. Zoe ate cultist minds. She would relate. It looks like trampoline is the choice that wins. So fun! A trampoline? I love trampolines! As do I, my blushing bride. I love whatever you love. That's how good relationships work, right? You just pretend to like whatever the other person likes until one of you dies? Whatever. Here we go! The three of you run over to the trampoline that was in this location for some reason because spooky high and begin to bounce. This is more fun than tasting the fear seeping out of every pore of my trembling prey! I can jump higher than you! I can jump higher than you! Yeah, we get it. At that moment, the prince jumps so high that he is swooped up by a giant falcon. A giant falcon that immediately flies into the engine of a jumbo jet plane. Yikes. That probably hurt. But it probably wasn't fatal. The prince is immortal, right? Or is he just interdimensional? It's hard to keep these things straight. Fuck it. He's probably fine. And you get 2 boldness and +1 smarts. You also get a gorgeous giant falcon feather that floats down from the sky. That's not usable in this game. But just be aware for the rest of this run that you totally have a falcon feather in your pocket. I love that. Week 2, and I think we might have Zoe on lock. Alright, we need more creativity, and thankfully the auditorium is still open to us. So let's get creative, shall we? Have fun, thank you for the well wishes, Bramble Rose. Good luck in your meeting, and try to have some fun. We will miss you. Alright, auditorium. Let's go. That day, while rehearsing for the class prey, you totally forget your lines. It's terrible. But you don't let that get you down. You start improvising all your lines. And it's marvelous. Somehow it enhances the pathos of the play in unexpected ways. And that's saying something since half of your improvisations is a rap battle against your inner fears. You gain +2 creativity. You were going to help Zoe with her math homework after, but you notice her surrounded by a crowd of sinister cloaked figures. She seems pissed about it. Oh, thank you for the hug, Eggnog. I appreciate it. Guys, stop it. I don't want any dead goats. I'm at school.
We must commence the rituals.
Oh, we understand perfectly, Lord Zagord. This was a test. We must bring you even more dead goats to satisfy your dark hunger. What? No, that's the opposite of what I said. And I don't go by Zagord anymore. I'm Zoe, okay? Z-O-E. Can we take a rain check on that study session, Stitches? I can't stand to be around these jerks. Zoe brushes past you on her way out. The cultists stare at you with unconcealed awe. Well, okay, it's concealed by their terrifying masks, but still.
All hail Zagord.
Zagord dressed you by name, and you did not go mad with pleasure. It dressed you almost as if you were an equal. It passed within inches of your frail mortal frame, and what's more, it mentioned rain. Could it be that it was referring to the fabled storm of cerebrospinal fluid, which will one day come to quench all sanity? Brothers, sisters, bow down before Stitches, for she is clearly the prophet of Zagord. Please, O prophet, guide our worship. We have noticed of late that our Lord appears dissatisfied with our sacrifices. The blood of many goats once pleased Zagord, and yet now we do not understand what has changed. That's pretty obvious. Perhaps, given your special relationship with our incomprehensible master, could suggest a new sort of sacrifice that would please it? Fuck it. You got nothing better to do. You decide to be a prophet for the day. You tell them that what they should really be sacrificing is... It's important to learn from your mistakes, so sacrifice another goat, but write "we're sorry" on the side. Or, sacrifice your own harmful prejudices. More goats with "I'm sorry" or prejudice. Eggnog is down for B. A or B, 1 or 2. Goats or prejudice. I don't care what answer you give me out of those three sets of options, but please, please. Thank you for the hydrate. I've run out of water, so I'm actually using cough drops. But I appreciate it. It looks like prejudice is winning. All right. Well then, sacrifice our own harmful prejudices. Let's go.
So blasphemous.
So creative. But our harmful prejudices are precious to us. They're how we remain reliably unpleasant, the better to unplease Zagord. Maybe that's how it was with Zagord, you explain. But Zoe's got an entirely different set of standards that don't involve being a bigot. Ah, your wisdom is truly is subtle and deep. Very well. Bring out the prejudices. One of the cultists stepped forward with a steel-banded box stained with blood and scorched by fire. You're not sure exactly what's inside, but it smells pretty racist. Now bring out the vat of acid we always carry around. Where were they keeping all this stuff? Those robes must be really roomy. Now dissolve the prejudices in acid. Go on, do it! The box dissolves to the sound like 1,000 grandmothers disapproving of your gender identity. Ah! We are suddenly unprotected from new and radical ideas. The revelations are flooding in! Could it be that we have been jerks? Alas, it is true. It is true that our Lord demands from us one further sacrifice. It is the greatest sacrifice of all. We must sacrifice the past. The name Zagord is gone, perished with the dark timeline that gave it birth. Here and now, we must rededicate ourselves to a new cult. The cult of Zoe. Wow, that worked out way better than expected. Maybe you can dissolve the prejudices of other bigots in acid too. Or maybe you can just dissolve the bigots in acid. Either way, you gain +2 charm and +1 boldness. Well, that worked out. Dang, we're good.
Let's go.
So, Table 1 has Scott and Calculator. Table 2 has Zoe and Miranda. Table 3 is the shop. Table 4 is Vera and Polly. Table 5 is 2 people whose names I don't remember offhand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which table should we sit at? And our gal is at table 2 for reference. For those of you who would like to keep track of those things. Eggnog says table 2. Wolfang rolled Nightbot, who Nat 1 critical failed again. Ah, we have 2 people for table 2. And 1 vote for table 1. Looks like you got outvoted, Wolfang. I know that you and Nightbot tried, but this is the second time Nightbot has rolled a Nat 1. Oh dear, this is the 3rd time. I think my roll might... This is a 3 roll Nat 1 critical fail. I think Nightbot is feeling bad. Maybe don't depend on Nightbot for your decisions, guys. It's not like Zoe and Miranda aren't always the perkiest of gals, but they seem extra perky as they skitter around writing things down in notebooks. Doubtless you are admiring our great work, Stitches. You see, we are now food critics. Zoe has hired me for her magazine. Totally a real food magazine. And it's an honor to have you on board, Your Highness. Zoe holds up a bunch of papers stapled together with doodles in crayon that seem to be eldritch runes, with some sparkly scratch and sniff stickers stuck on top. If you are quiet and subservient, you may watch us in our quest to be the best food critics ever. I was a little hesitant about founding this very legitimate magazine since I'm new to eating things older than Minds and Souls. Oh, other than Minds and Souls. Ah, a 14. Well, Nightbot, I hope you feel better. And I usually have my eating serfs eat for me, but then Zoe and I realized we were the absolute best food critics according to our test audience, which was comprised of Miranda's food serfs. Now watch us create culinary criticism magic. First up, macaroni and cheese. This food item contains both macaroni and cheese, and therefore deserves 5 stars for this accurate description. Next, couscous with vegetables. I never tried it, and the pieces seem way too small to even register in my many mouths. I won't try it either, but the name sounds very fancy, so 5 stars. Here is this microwave. Ah yes, this is very shiny and very cubic shaped, which are both good qualities for a food. 5 stars. Here's some French fries. They don't seem to be particularly French, but they don't seem particularly un-French either. Oh dear, how will we ever determine their Frenchosity? Easy, that's your speciality. Do we say, Zoe, you should give the French fries a French kiss worthy of the most epic French fictions to check how good they are at French kissing and therefore calculate their Frenchosity? Or do we say, Miranda, obviously you're the most qualified to determine this. The only way to establish Frenchosity is to actually go to France. Just send an eating serf over to check it out. A or B, 1 or 2. Zoe or Miranda? Who do we talk to? Get Zoe to investigate their French fictions? I mean, I feel like that's the best if we're chasing Zoe, yes. She does have a multitude of mouths to help with that. The alliteration was on purpose. All right. How did you know my French-themed spooky high AU laid monsterables? You truly are my #1 fan, aren't you, Stitches? If by #1 fan she means trying to get in her tentacles on prom night, then sure. If you find them to be sufficiently good kissers, my eldritch compatriot, I will join you in this endeavor. It will be good practice for me when my prince comes along, provided I'm not in enchanted slumber at the time. I really feel like people shouldn't be kissing people in any kind of slumber, but that's a separate issue, so I'm just gonna make out with a fried potato now. And she does. Yes, I found that kiss to be both French and fried. 5 stars.
Spoiler alert, you rock!
5 stars. And Stitches, maybe you and I can work on other kissing adventures sometime? Heck yeah. And you do. It's called giving butterfly kisses to honey roasted butterflies to determine their butterfly factor. 5 stars. Well, that worked out in our favor.
Let's go!
Boldness and fun are our lowest stats well, actually, our lowest stat is money. Boldness and fun are our second lowest, creativity and charm are third, and smarts the highest. Do we continue doubling down on creativity to appeal to Zoe, or do we chase up some low stats to try and make sure we have a little bit of everything, just in case? What do we do, guys? The library is where we would up our money stat, and it is currently the shop. So we can't chase our lowest stat even if we wanted to in this moment, but we can chase all the others. More creative, more Zoe, more creative. Okay. Trav says creativity, ho. I think I agree, honestly. Auditorium time! That day, while rehearsing for class play, you do a terrific job at acting. You act so hard that some of your classmates in the audience throw roses at you. 7 roses to be exact. Damn, roses aren't a valid currency or stat in this game. Anyway, you check your converter app to see if this could translate into something a bit more useful. It seems 7 roses equals 2 creativity points. Sweet! Plus 2 creativity. You spot Zoe and say hello. She seems to be in a pretty good mood.
Oh, hey.
Hey, Stitches! Sorry about running out on you before. I was just overwhelmed by all that cult stuff. Speaking of them, they've actually been a lot better lately. They're still pretty clueless, but at least they haven't given me any more dead animals. I wonder what's gotten into them. Well, better not mess with success.
Zoe, out!
Anyway, I gotta go study for my ambush finance midterms. Later! As Zoe leaves, you notice her cultists peeking around the corner. When she's gone, they sheepishly approach you.
Welcome to the end of the world.
Hey, Stitches. Praise be to you for your unholy wisdom and stuff. We were just wondering. Did Zoe say anything about us? Does she like all the dead goats we're not giving her? Are we using the right pronouns? Did we just... We love her so much, and we want to make sure she is as happy, or unhappy, or ruthlessly insane as she can possibly be. I love her the most of all. Who said that? Whoever you are, you can't possibly love her more than I do. I'm the one standing at the front. I was standing at the front last time. We all look the same because we're all wearing masks. Silence! You can't silence me. You're not my grandmaster. Well, someone is, right? I mean, we have a grandmaster, don't we? What kind of cult would we be without a grandmaster? We don't, do we? Well, that won't do. Please, Stitches, grace us with your wisdom. How shall we choose our grandmaster? Our options are: you need to learn to think like your mistress, become a high school student for a day, and the answer will be obvious to you. Or, the title of Grandmaster should go to whoever can compose the best theme song to sing to Zoe every morning as if it is a new episode of her life. Eggnog says lucky guess number 2. Eggnog says 2. So, do we tell them to become high school students for a day, or do we tell them to compose theme music for Zoe's life? A or B, 1 or 2, high school student or theme music, you guys tell me. Oh, come on, Zoe's gonna go for number 2. That's 2 votes for 2, chat. Here in Monster Prom. What shall we do? What shall we do? Alright, we're going for number 2. The title of Grandmaster should go to whoever can compose the best theme song to sing to Zoe every morning as if it's a new episode of her life. A theme song? But we have only ever uttered guttural chants which twist the fibers of the mind. But if this is what our mistress commands, it must be done.
Your words wield truth.
Let the brainstorming begin. The cultists all split up to compose the best theme songs they possibly can. Some write feverishly on notepads, others sing quietly to themselves. One of them just does a bunch of squats for some reason. Finally, they reassemble to deliver their results. Okay, we are going to do this as a contest. But most of us just came up with discordant chanting. One of us blatantly copied a burrito ad jingle, and one of us spent the whole time doing squats, and now her legs are tired. So tired.
Let the ritual commence.
Anyway, I'm the only one who actually wrote a song, so I guess I'm the Grandmaster now. Here, have a listen. We are the cult of Zoe. We always sing her praise. And if you think we can't, we'll torture you for days. That's why the people of this plane believe in Zoe, or else they get slain and eaten. Well, what do you think? It's not really a theme song for Zoe, per se, but you think she'll probably get a kick out of it anyway. You gain +2 fun and +1 boldness. That was pretty fun.
Let's go.
So as it stands now, at the morning of week 3, where we're halfway through this game, our smarts are at 12, our boldness is at 7, creativity 9, charm 7, fun 8, and money, our lowest stat, is a 5. We can't actually go chase creativity because the auditorium is currently the store. We could get more money in the library to raise our lowest stat. Or we could chase a different stat. Boldness, charm, fun, perhaps. Our smarts is at a 12. I don't think we need any more smarts for Zoe. Get that money, try the library, okay. We will go to the library and raise our money stat. That day, you spend some time on the library's PCs managing your start kicker. Like Kickstarter, but not. You deceive lots of people with a sensationalist video and impossible promises. Nice. You gain plus 100,000 money, but almost everything goes to cover costs, and you keep only +2 money. Ugh. I read a whole half page of a nonfiction book. I feel like my brain is gonna explode. I hate studying. Ugh, gross. No one has ever made out once in this math textbook. I do like books, though. They can take you anywhere in the world. So when you pee on them, it's like you're marking your territory across the planet. That explains the wavy, crispy texture and pungent odor of a lot of your used textbooks. You wonder if it's worth trying to correct his error when... Dimitri!
It is I, Dimitri.
That's right. It is I, Dimitri. And may I add, your abs are looking especially lickable today? Weird, but okay.
Come to the dark side.
Endless deity of horror and chaos, deadly and charming beast person, do join me on the dark side. Is it too late to see how Polly's doing? A little bit?
Enough of this.
Counterpoint, do not do that. Dimitri, you made a fatal error in this plan. You have approached our classmates in the middle of the library where they're hard at work studying. They'll never listen to your pitch. Oh, yikes. Actually, we were getting super bored with studying, so Dimitri, go ahead and tell us your thing, I guess. Nope. If you let Dimitri woo them to the dark side, how will you woo them to prom? Also, blah blah, end of the world, the right thing, whatever. Sure, the dark side sounds cool, but the commute is terrible. Why join the dark side when you could join the Mark side? Who the hell is Mark? A or B, 1 or 2, terrible commute or the Mark side. Which one shall we do, chat? You guys all fell in love with Zoe. There was no guarantee that she would fall in love with you back. Just saying. She is an eldritch horror, after all. Now if only the monster at the end of Darkest Dungeon was Zoe. Yeah, who's Mark? Mark Hamill? I mean, it would be pretty cool if it was Mark Hamill. He's a pretty cool dude. And he's played the Joker for years in animation. Eggnog says 1. The second one is trying too hard with no real joke. Go for number 1. I got 2 number 1s in chat. Anyone else want to weigh in? Feel free to do so now. Number 1 it is. Sure, the dark side sounds cool, but the commute is terrible. Oh, come now. The commute is not so bad. It's just 2 buses, a train, a goose-drawn carriage, and then 2 more buses. How long does that take? 9 hours, but time flies when you spend the entire journey in unspeakable torment. Why is the torment unspeakable? Because everybody has ants in their mouths. It's all very sensible and environmentally friendly. Really? Because it sounds incredibly stupid and bad. Oh. Perhaps you're right. Forgive me, I have spent so long on the dark side. I no longer truly understand what it means to be good. You poor thing. Would you like to be incorporated into the series-long plot arc where we teach you the true meaning of goodness?
I'll be back.
I'll have to talk to my agent until we meet again. You expect Dimitri to vanish in a cloud of purple smoke or something, but instead he trudges off to make the 9-hour journey home. You gain +2 fun and +1 smarts. Lunchtime, lunchtime.
Let's go.
Table 1 is the store. Table 2 is Zoe and calculator. Table 3 is the Slayer. Table 4 is Vera and Scott. Table 5 is Miranda and Polly. Now's your chance to check in with Polly if you want. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. What table should we sit at today? ZZ? Z-O-E, Trav. Z-O-E. Zoe. Well, we did do the short run. 5? You wanna check in with Polly, Eggnog? Because she's a ghost. Yay, coworker taught how to solve the problem. Congrats, Bramble. Welcome back. We have been chasing Zoe this whole time while you were in a meeting. So, table 1 is the store. Table 2 has Zoe, our girl. Table 3 has a bitch. Table 4 has arguably a bitch and a sweetheart. And table 5 has 2 people. We already have a vote for table 5. Anybody else want to weigh in? Please do so in the chat. Or, alternatively, use your channel points to become the ruler of the vote, so that you tell me what you want to do and I will go do it. Or, alternatively, use your channel points to make me make a decision by making me queen of the vote, which I will not forgive you for, because how dare. I got a vote for 5 and I got a vote for table 2. Any tiebreakers in my chat? Table 2 it is. You sit down with Zoe and Calculester. Zoe seems to have brought some fresh sanity today. That is, she has a screaming man strapped to the table and is currently siphoning his sanity out through his eye sockets. Friend Zoe, I'm afraid I must take issue with your current practice. What? Eating? Eating in a manner which causes a human to repeatedly scream, "Kill me," while voiding his bowels and bladder. It does not seem nice.
Are you for real?
Look, I was born this way, okay? Well, not so much born as ripped from the fabric of reality itself and animated with equal parts raw malice and the concept of despair. But still, don't judge me. I do not possess the necessary firmware to judge you, Zoe. I do, however, wish that you would find another way to attain sustenance. You can't stand to see these two at odds. Maybe you could convince Zoe to change her ways, or convince Calculester that they don't need changing. Zoe, why don't you eat this vegan brownie I brought instead? It's probably way tastier than that guy's sanity. Alternatively, oh, come on, Calculester. Sanity isn't even one of the top 5 worst things Zoe could be devouring from this dude. Vegan brownie or sanity is not even in the top 5. A or B, 1 or 2. Vegan brownie or sanity. Any one answer in that general direction will get you a vote. Look, we're monsters, yes, but vegan brownie, we're not that amoral. Number 2, I can't see her wanting a vegan brownie. I can't either, to be quite frank. I have a vote for 2. I have 2 votes for 2, it looks like. So, looks like we're trying to convince Calculester that he's being silly. I don't think her cultists are that smart, Bramble. I'm gonna be honest. Baking has a lot to it. I don't think they're capable of that. They were sacrificing goats to her, after all. Neither are vegan brownies. You're funny, Bramble. Oh, come on, Calculester. Sanity isn't even one of the top 5 worst things Zoe could be devouring from this dude. Status, skeptical. Please list 5 things worse to devour from this man than his sanity. Oh, that's easy. Deep-seated insecurities is 1. Poop is another. The crippling fear of death present in all mortals. Pee. And worst of all, opinions. Are his opinions really that bad? Well, he's a prominent user on Reddit. On Reddit? Understood. Analysis complete. Sanity is an acceptable food substitute compared to several things that are worse. Nice. It's like I always say, when life gives you lemons, compare those lemons to an all-consuming void. The void is way worse than a couple of lemons. Yeah, she really nailed it on that last one. You couldn't agree more. Mostly because you're interested in smooching, Zoe, but still.
Let's go.
The store has, left. Our stats are as follows. Smarts 13, boldness 7, creativity 9, charm 7, fun 10, money 7. We're actually pretty solid. The 7s could be higher, but we're actually pretty solid. Do we chase creativity again? We have the option to go to the auditorium one last time. And then it's going to be prom. More creativity? Okay. That day, while rehearsing for the class play, you can't help but feel that you're not as good as the role requires you to be. There doesn't seem to be any ordinary way of getting yourself there, but there might be an extraordinary way. You summon the devil, one of many, and make a deal to enhance your creativity just a bit. You gain +2 creativity. You also lose -3 years of life as your end of the deal, but who cares? They weren't happening in-game anyway. Arguably, we're already dead. Although, Frankenstein's monster was reanimated, so I guess we are technically alive. Oh well. You finish what you were doing and about to settle down for some quality slacking off when Zoe's cultist comes shuffling over.
Welcome to the end of the world.
Greetings, mighty prophet. Your disguise is so convincing today. You look for all the world like an ordinary high school student. Yeah, cool. You ask them what they want. Want is a concept alien to us. We receive everything we could possibly desire through communion with our dark mistress. But, we need some advice. You see, tonight is the reoccurrence of an event which used to bear great significance to the cult of Zagord. It is the night when the bloody moon passes between the jaws of the Draculich Peak, causing this realm and the plane of torment to merge. We usually plan all kinds of events for ritual cannibalism, profane summonings, a partial reading of the Dianetics. But the cult of Zagord is no more. We are the cult of Zoe now, and we want to do something to show Our Lady of Endless Regret how much we've changed.
Let the ritual commence.
No, we've got the bolts and the stitches and everything, Trav. We are a Frankenstein's monster. The other guy is actually the undead zombie. The big green dude was a patchwork. He's a reanimated monster. I mean, I guess we're both technically kind of reanimated monsters, but I believe Frankenstein's monster was technically alive. Anyway. This is true. She is fashioned after the Bride of Frankenstein, actually. Anyway. As you have not led us yet astray, O great and terrible prophet, we humbly petition you for advice. What ritual would be worthy of the mighty Zoe? Okay. Do we tell them a classic cult suicide, except instead of drinking poison, we all drink a delicious blue-flavored energy drink? Or the most powerful bonding ritual ever, a cute slumber party? So yeah, I think for the purposes of a deal with the devil and losing 3 years of our life, we are technically alive. Therefore, it matters. Now, if we were an actual undead, aka a zombie of some sort, then it really wouldn't matter because we already died. Slumber party with the ritual reading of the most mind-draining, reality-altering fanfiction one can find. I mean, I would be down for that, Bramble Rose. Absolutely. Drink the non-poisoned Kool-Aid. No, it's a blue-flavored energy drink now, Trav. Kool-Aid is so, like, many decades ago. It's blue-flavored energy drink or not, or bust. I have a vote for A and a vote for B. Get your votes in now, please. Persuade me. Woo me, if you will. Towards a decision, not for any other reason. Chat, I need help. You're going to, yell really loudly at people to not die? Okay, Mr. Scrake. I vote for me, eggnog. That's not how this works. But I appreciate your efforts. But what if in Magic Born Zombie have expiration dates? Who knows? Who knows how that works? Wahahaha. Trav has crowned himself the ruler of the vote. So, King Trav, I believe your vote is to drink the blue-flavored energy drink. Unfortunately, no other votes but Trav's count, because that is how the channel points work. Congrats, Trav. We're going for the classic cult suicide.
Today, we respect your word.
Truly, your mind is as twisted as the spine of Goliath? Nagoliac. The herniated, sorry. And, Nagoliac, the herniated. Blue-flavored energy drink indeed. No foods in nature are blue, and yet many blue-flavored energy drinks exist. It is an enigma, a fiendish riddle, an affront against nature itself. It's perfect. But where shall we acquire a sufficient quantity of such